Hello and good evening. This is the next video broadcast by MyRoute-app. My name is Serge, and this week we will be taking a deep dive under the hood of MyRoute-app and take a look at what is necessary to build and maintain a website like MyRoute-app and present it to you as a user. Maybe you remember that we spoke to our development team and the other members of our MyRoute-app cast, and what we didn't show you then is that we also work with external partners, and tonight I'm going to introduce you to the partner that we work with to get our website presented to you. There's a whole lot technical stuff going on, but we hope to be able to share with you the essence of what goes into presenting websites to users. So without further ado, I'm going to put on my headphone so I can speak with my guests of tonight. That I will introduce to you. You can see me on the top right in my screen at least. So to my left, so that will probably be your right, we find Corné. Hi Corné.
Hi Sergey, good evening.
Good evening. And his colleague also in the white background is Meindert.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening Meindert. And we have Catalina, and her you remember from the previous Meet the Team. And maybe you've seen some of her comments on the forum. She's our in-house developer and working closely with these two fine gentlemen. Maybe you can start by introducing yourself to the MyRoute-app viewers. Either one of you bite off and start.
Milo, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. So I work at inQdo Cloud as a solutions architect and an engineer. I've been working there for over 5 years now, and this year inQdo Cloud exists for 10 years. So that's an amazing milestone that we just hit. And yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
I will take over from you, Meindert. My name is Corné van der Steen. I'm working for inQdo past now 5 years. I'm a solutions architect also. And maybe I can introduce inQdo as a company as well.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So it is as if you can read my mind. inQdo, why inQdo? What do you do? What do you guys specialize in?
We are inQdo Cloud, especially Minit. We are a cloud consulting partner, and we work only with AWS services as a cloud solutions provider. We help organizations like MyRoute-app to go to the cloud. It's a journey which you take the customer by the hand, and we will help them getting all the stuff up and running in AWS.
Okay, so for our viewers to understand the cloud, the stuff, MyRoute-app is a website. MyRoute-app, you type in on your browser, you type in www.myrouteapp.com, and then from my PC I end up at a web server that then presents to me the website as if I were going to any other website. I type in the address. There's a connection between where I am and where that website lives. We will disregard that for now because that's different for everybody depending on your wireless or wired. But ending up at the server that MyRoute-app is running on, this is where you guys come in. So you are a solution partner to MyRoute-app because a while ago MyRoute-app made a conscious decision to focus on core strengths, right, yep. Catalina?
Yes, that's right. We found out that we were getting so many users on the website. Like I think some people may have noticed, we had some downtime in the past, and as many have seen, we are 3 developers, and our main goal is the route planner and the MRA navigation. So it was better to leave the server side to have that done by a group of specialists, and that is how we found inQdo.
Perfect. So this is where the two worlds connect. So you provide the architecture and the hardware services underneath the route planner that our users actually use. Can you maybe share with us the old situation? How would that typically be, let's say, before the transition to the inQdo solution? How would a user of MyRoute-app find us? What hardware was behind that?
Me?
Yeah, you or maybe Corné?
Well, before we had our servers on all different platforms, so they were not together, and they were not scalable. So when there were a lot of people on the website, so many requests were coming in, and our servers were not scalable. So the server get down, like they were unhealthy, so they died, and then the website died as well, and then you get downtime. So that was our situation before.
Okay. So how did inQdo solve that solution, Corné?
We managed to solve that problem by taking MyRoute-app by the hand. We looked into the application, where the application consists of. It was.
I'm showing a picture that illustrates what Catalina just said, right? Short amounts of downtime on busy moments. That's actually what it mostly was, right?
Yeah, that was exactly what it most was, because the web server which serves all the information for the MyRoute app users was based on one server, one instance. The database was in it, the MyRoute-app was in it, the point of interest service was in it, also the route elevation service was in it. So when one component gets down, it took all the website down, and that was a really big issue for MyRoute-app.
And for all our users, yes.
And for all your users, yes, exactly.
You mentioned AWS. Remind me, that's an abbreviation for?
Yeah, that's an abbreviation for Amazon Web Services. While most people would know Amazon from the bookstore and everything else that they sell on their retail website, I think about 12 years ago now, Amazon Web Services had a lot of overcapacity on their server platform that they use to run their retail operations. And they decided to rent out that overcapacity to other users. And they do that under the umbrella of Amazon Web Services. And since then, that has grown from not only do they offer servers, but they offer all kinds of services to companies like MyRoute-app, but also Netflix is on it, for example. So it's really a huge scalable platform that MyRoute-app can also use to grow into the future.
Perfect. Okay. Corné, I see the last bit of information on this screen indicates August 17.
Yep.
That was the date that MyRoute-app migrated to the solution that you guys built, right?
Yeah, exactly. We in the time before 17 August, we set up the environment. We have tested out some things, and on the 17th of August, we cut off the line with the old environment, and we start up the new environment. So that's why you see the last downtime was for 3 minutes, because we needed to change over some DNS records that will point the traffic to the new environment, and from then on everything was running on AWS.
And this is a screenshot of since that day. This is looking back. This is a picture you took last night, I guess, right?
Yes, this is a picture I took last night. Yes, exactly.
So the last 90 days, counting back from last night, there's been 100% uptime?
Since the 17th of August, we have 100% uptime. Yes, indeed.
That's unbelievable, man. Maybe it's good to share with the viewers how that comes to be, because we could talk about web servers and things like that, but maybe we can illustrate it by showing some pictures. Imagine I am the user of MyRoute-app. It's Saturday morning. I want to go for a ride, so I log on to www.myroute-app.com, and this is where I am, right here on the left, where it says general users. This is where I, as a general user, would come in, and then the first thing I see is that I make a connection, and then an application load balancer. Can you explain what a load balancer is and does?
Yeah. So The first thing that you hit is indeed the application load balancer. The application load balancer is kind of a traffic manager that will look at the request that comes in, and it will route the request to the correct web server. And what it also does is it looks at the web server that has the least amount of connections open. So we don't ever overload a certain web server. The load gets evenly distributed across all servers that are there. And what the application load balancer also does is we've set a few rules on it that say if a particular amount of users are on a web server or are on the website, we will automatically scale up the platform by adding a web server.
Okay, let's leave that for a little bit later, because I'm still alone, right? I'm the only user entering the system, so I can go two ways. Do I have that choice, or is that choice made for me, Corné?
That choice is made by you, for you by the application load balancer. It just serves you where some spaces which web server doesn't have a lot to do.
So I don't have to queue. I immediately get connected to what I need, my routes.
You immediately get connected to your to MyRoute-app, and if you look closely to this design, you see that we separate all the components of MyRoute-app.
Yeah, I can see the web server. I can see POI. That's the point of interest database that we provide for our users, right? Where they can find restaurants, hotels.
Yes, exactly. If you create a route and you want to have a nice restaurant on your route, you have on the left spot in the route planner, you have an option to select restaurants, and then MyRoute-app comes up with the closest restaurants, and that's the POI service which is doing that.
Okay, and then the NavCloud API, that's, if I'm well informed, that's the connector that people use, Catalina, right? If they want to export their route to their devices, this is where they would end up doing that.
The NavCloud is the MRA connector, and we upload there a file. This is the file that the users can download on the website.
Okay, so seeing these four silos, if you will, does that, for me as a layperson, can I read that as individual parts of the solution? So are they independently working?
Yeah, they are completely separate from each other. And in the old situation, as said, all components were on one server. So if one component would be really busy, it would take down the entire website. But in the new situation where we silo off each component, one component cannot take down the entire website. It will just take down that one component.
Exactly.
That's actually quite awesome, because it also means that if we were to add new functionality in the future, that would also become a different silo. And regardless of how many people are looking into a POI list for their route, the connector silo will still be up and running and not be affected by the number of users doing something completely different.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
And I read scaling here, and I think you started about that, so maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit more. Scaling. Talk us through that, please.
Yeah, so one of the problems with the old setup was that it wasn't scalable, and scalable means that we can dynamically add and remove servers. So, for example, the web server, the POI server, the NavCloud server, and the Open Elevation server can all be scaled independently from each other. And what we do is we set a threshold to the amount of visitors on the website. And if the threshold, if the amount of visitors gets over that threshold, the platform will automatically add a server. And once the usage gets down, it will automatically remove that web server.
Okay, that sounds like great use of resources too, Corné. Is that one of the reasons why this solution is the solution that we chose?
Yeah, since adding, for example, if you would buy in the old-fashioned way one particular piece of hardware, you have to put in a lot of money, and you only use that capacity maybe once a year, or in your case for a particular season.
Because you have to buy a server that is big enough to cater to your largest amount of users that you anticipate.
Yeah, exactly. And since Michiel would like to have that, he would like to have a cost-effective solution. We designed this way, and this is the best way for MyRoute-app and also for a lot more websites. This scales automatically when the load is high, and it will shrink when the load is less. So you only pay for the amount that you're using. So pay for what you get.
Great. So that's a cost-effective component, but that also means that is an environmental component to it. If you don't need a big or many servers to run, you can switch them off.
Yep.
And they don't use any energy, so it's better carbon footprint as well.
Yeah. So that's one good thing for MyRoute-app.
Great. I'm sure that many of our users would be happy with that as well. And then I see a red part, so I guess we never go there, right? Because if it's red, you can't go there.
Yeah, the normal users which are coming in from the load balancer are not able to get to that. But you can imagine that all the data of the users of MyRoute-app needs to be stored in some way. And for that part, MySQL database will come in. You see here in the overview, it's Amazon Aurora MySQL. And it's a layer on top of MySQL, and with that layer, you will have the leverage of scaling automatically out and in if the load is not necessary for that. And since it is MySQL compatible, Catalina doesn't need to rewrite code. It's just one-on-one compatible with each other. So that means. When we migrated to AWS, it was less effort for Catalina to rewrite code. That was not necessary.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up, because Catalina, you write the code that creates the website and that creates the route planning tool and all the options that are in there. So now it was on an old server. It needed to be changed to be hosted on a new AWS cloud solution. Where it became almost serverless, if I was informed right. Did that mean that you have to learn a lot of new skills, or did you have to make many changes? Or
in the website itself, it was a few changes, a few URL changes where we get our information from. And besides that, I learned a lot about Docker, which I didn't learn at school, and a lot about Amazon and Fargate, and we as company learned much about that.
Okay, so there's a lot of synergy going on there as well.
Yes.
Yep.
If we take a look at how many people use this solution, you shared a picture with me earlier. Minded, maybe you can talk us through this, what we see here on this screen.
Yeah, so what we see here is a usage over time. You can see dips, but also huge spikes in usage. And what we can also see is that this is for an entire week. The entire platform uses 97 gigabytes of traffic.
It's quite a bit of traffic indeed, and this is a current week, so it's not even the peak season for us.
Yeah.
I can imagine if we take a look at this next year and see a charge over a longer period of time, this may be the usage per day or per 2 days maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this is where the scalability comes in. As you can imagine, during the night, where you can see the huge dips in traffic, we only have just 1 or 2 servers running, and during the day that will scale up automatically to.
And is there a limit to that? Because MyRoute-app finds new users everywhere in the world. I can imagine we have now 200,000 users on the platform. But imagine that everybody in America or the US starts using MyRoute-app Cornet. Will we then have to build a new solution again, or is this future-proof?
This solution is future-proof. For example, if you look to Netflix, which is also a company which is using AWS, they have a lot of traffic which exceeds millions of users, and you can imagine that we can have the same solution as Netflix has. So the potential of MyRoute-app is endless.
Limitless.
Yeah, limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So the picture that Mijndert just showed and explained is actually no, this one that I have on the screen now is similar to what Mijndert showed.
Yep.
But if I look at the scales, it's a day view, right?
Yeah, you can see we're looking at a particular day. It was yesterday. Because I created the screenshots yesterday. You see the load from time to time over the day, and during the night you will see exactly what Mijndert mentioned. There's a low traffic on the website because many users many users are sleeping, and of course everybody needs sleep. And during the day it will automatically grow with the time, and yeah, exactly. Then comes in the scalability of the application.
Great, yeah, and it's a good visual too. And you can see that the combined usage of all the users per day is now 12.5 gigabytes.
Yep.
So if you multiply that by 7, you reach that 97 dot something indeed quite well. I'd be interested to see how that would look in May or June of 2021, when we all hopefully will be able to go out riding again and use MyRoute-app a lot. Let's see what is on this page, because Fargate, I think you tried to explain it to me earlier. Maybe you have to repeat what you said. We have a serverless solution. How does that work?
Maybe Mijndert can talk about it.
Yeah, so,
Mijndert.
Yeah, sure. So a serverless solution sounds weird because there's still servers underneath, of course. It's just that we don't need to manage anything anymore. So Catalina just packages the website basically, uploads it to AWS, and it will get deployed automatically. That's about the only thing that we need to manage. So we package the website and we upload it. There's no provisioning of web servers beforehand. Nothing like that. Amazon takes care of all of that.
Yeah.
So no maintenance windows either then?
No, exactly. So and one other advantage is that when you push out, for example, a bug fix on the website won't go down or anything. The visitors won't even notice. All visitors will have the latest version of the website automatically.
Cool. How does that work for you, Catalina? Can I compare that to me working on a Word document and then saving version 1 and version 2? And while I save that, it's automatically transferred to the website. So every user has the newest features. Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically, yes. If you compare it with that, we make a few fixes, like, for example, bug fixes. What Mijndert said, we upload it to AWS. AWS deploys it in 3 minutes, and the user, without even noticing, is using the newest version. So it's doing everything automatically.
And that's true for the small fixes, but also for the big steps that we see on the roadmap then.
Also for the big steps, yes. And we also have a test server, which a lot of route experts have used it, and they have experiences as well, like the big fixes, the big updates. They get tested there as well, and that's also done by AWS.
So that's like a sandbox solution that allows a selected group of users to see the new features and use them, give feedback to you and the rest of the development team, so you can maybe make some small changes and fixes before it's deployed to the community of MyRoute-app at large.
Yes, and when it gets deployed, it's nobody sees downtime, so it goes very good. Yep.
Great, sounds fantastic. Yeah, and we've all seen that in the recent 1.1 update with the new route points and the new functionality around that. If you have missed the update on that, check last week's broadcast where we explained everything about that. Corné, is this the end of the cooperation, or does inQdo and MyRoute-app have other plans and working on things for the future as well?
Yeah, it's nice to mention that AWS is a continuous improvement company, and they are every time they reinvent themselves. And at this moment, there's a ongoing campaign, or
Event.
Yeah, ongoing event, exactly, which is called the AWS ReInvent, and they are announcing new features day by day. It's the event duration is 3 weeks, and every day there will be new components, new features being launched. And one of the features, for example, a new highly scalable database solution, which probably will bring MyRoute-app lots of new features.
Great. So you, as a partner of MyRoute-app, you're not a supplier just delivering us a new server component, but you're actually working on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis, with our in-house team.
Yep, exactly.
To keep the synergy going and to have a continuous improvement there as well, right?
Yeah, exactly, Sergio.
Cool. That's really that's what we find really important here at MyRoute-app. Have people do what they are good at. Our development team can focus on the core business, and have a partner that takes care of the technical part under the hood, so to speak, so that all our users and ourselves can be assured that there's always a website where we can plan the greatest rides. That's I think that's a 1&1 is 3 solution rather than a 1&1 is 2. I can see that we are almost at the bottom of the hour again. This type of thing always goes fast. I want to thank you for being able to present your story also in English. I hope that our viewers, and I've seen that there's quite a bit. Oh, there's one good question. What's the advantage of having Amazon Cloud over, for example, other components like Azure? Or is that like comparing BMW to Mercedes preference based?
No, basically they are doing the same. They are leveraging cloud servers, and you can say one is better than the other one. But we as a company use only AWS, since we think in the Dutch we say schoenmaker blijft bij je leest. You can only be a specialist on one thing, and we say okay, we want to focus ourselves on AWS. If you look to Gartner, it's a company which investigates do research on every part of cloud providers, and AWS is there on the star rising, which is from their point of view the best cloud solution provider there is. Is it better or not? We think it's almost even. It's
like I said, it's comparing BMW to a Mercedes. They're both great cars, and you may have a preference for one or the other. But technically, you might find small differences. But that doesn't say this one is better than the other or cheaper or whatever. It's similar.
No, if you look to the AWS has quite a lot more managed services, as they call it. For example, Fargate is one of the solution.
And that's actually a really big component for our solution.
Yeah, AWS leverage, and also the Aurora MySQL database is one of the key features of AWS. So that's one thing AWS is really strong in.
And for those two reasons, MyRoute-app made a good choice selecting AWS for their future server backend. And we're confident that we're future-proof. I thank you all for your time and your input today. I think we learned a lot. And I look forward to meeting you live somewhere in 2021 if we are permitted to travel and come together again. For the people watching, I thank you very much for spending the last half an hour with us. Tune in again next week when road safety will be the subject when we speak to representative of the IAM, the UK road specialist team. I will talk about road safety and what that company can do for you as a rider. So I look forward to having that conversation, and I look forward to you joining me then. It will be, again, our standard time, 8 o'clock UK time. I apologize for a small slip up in the email that may have confused some people. Fortunately, this Facebook event will be recorded and put on the YouTube as well as stays on Facebook. So if you missed the beginning, please watch it at your own leisure at a later time. For now, thank you for watching, ride safe, and see you hopefully next week. Goodbye.